Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. Bear with me as we figure out what settings I need my new phone on because I just got a new phone today. So filming's going to be a little bit different until I figure out like what setting I need my ring light on to work with my camera because of the new phone. But this is going to be my September TBR. Now I am taking part in 4, I think. Is it only 4 readathons? So we'll go through each readathon, what my TBR is, although one I don't have a set TBR for, but I will mention it. So the first one I'm participating in is Becca's BookOpelathon. So anything I mentioned will be linked in the description. But for Becca's BookOpelathon, it is a readathon created by Becca from Becca and the Books, where we essentially play her Bookopoly game. And if you know that if you do not know, I typically play a Bookopoly game that is 1000% inspired by hers. I've basically taken her idea and credited her. So this essentially, you pick your number of rolls, so I'm doing 6, and you roll 2 dice, you move yourself around the board, and you read prompts. Like, you read books based on those prompts. If you roll a double, so let's say you roll 2 ones, you add a book. So we're starting with 6, and I will go through what books I got, like what prompts I got and what books I'm picking. Apparently, I cannot talk. So here is the Bookopoly board. I did just print this out instead of like making one because nobody ain't got time for that. So I just printed off the little board. And so I'm using a flash drive because I don't know really what else to use, so I just found a flash drive to use. And then I'm using the dice. The only difference that I am doing is I am using my like chance cards and community shelf cards that I use for my Bookopoly game because they work the exact same way. Yeah, I've already explained that we are doing 6 rolls, so let's see if it stays with those 6 rolls, and let's see what we get. So that is a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So people. So this is like people are on the cover. And rule number 1 gave us people, which is people on the cover, like so somebody on the cover, like a person. And for this, I'm picking The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. This comes out September 6th. And I do have this pre-ordered, so I will be reading it physically, but it's obviously not out yet, so I don't have my copy. And this, I don't know anything about it, except it's, I believe, inspired by Mexican mythology. It's like queer, and that's basically it. I want to go in knowing nothing. I haven't even read the description of the book. I honestly probably won't, even once I decide to start it, so yeah. Roll number 2 gives us a double. Okay, I shouldn't have said that bit at the beginning. I take everything I said back. So that is 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which is favorite settings. This is a setting that I enjoy, or like a favorite setting of a novel. So I need to figure what even my favorite setting is. So roll number 2 was a double, so bringing 6 up to 7. And for this is favorite setting, and if I look over there, it's because I have all the information down there. But a favorite setting of mine is like something in a fantasy setting. And I'm kind of cheating because this is like a favorite series, so I love the setting. That is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. A few friends and I decided, hey, let's buddy read the series. So I'm at least reading the first book in September. And this, if you do not know what it's about, we follow Feyre, who essentially she is her family's breadwinner. She hunts for her family, and one day she kills a wolf. Little does she know that this wolf is actually a fae in wolf form. And so then she ends up basically having to go to the Feylands as like a punishment by the High Lord of the Spring Court, Tamlin, and there is this curse that has been happening that she ends up having to try to break. That's basically kind of like the bare basics. So yeah, I'm very excited to be doing a reread because I haven't read this first book since November 2020, and I might listen to the audiobook of this, but who knows. So now we have roll number 3 out of 7. I'm not going to say anything to jinx myself because I jinxed myself at the beginning, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least after that double, we landed on mood read. Well, it's supposed to say mood read, but the printing kind of got cut off, so at least that is good. I can at least mood read. Roll number 3 gave us another double. Everything's okay. And for this was a mood read, and I'm literally not picking anything. I am 100% mood reading because I need it. Over the last few months, I've kind of begun mood reading a bit more. So just whatever I feel like reading that is not already on this TBR, I'll add. Roll number 4 of 8, which is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a chance. So chances are equal parts books that I want to read and books that I don't want to read. I honestly don't remember what's even in here, so let's see. So I'll just pick what's on top, and House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I'm not that mad about that. So next we got Chance, and that was House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, which is right here. This I don't know much about, so I'm going to read you the description, because honestly the only reason I picked this up is because I've heard great things about it, and it was like $4 or $5 at a secondhand store. So Iris Hollow and her 2 sisters are unquestionably strange. As children, they disappeared on a Scottish city street, only to return a month later with no memory of what happened to them or where they'd been. More troubling, their appearance began to change, their blue eyes now black, their dark hair now white, and as they grew older, odd, eerie occurrences seemed to follow them in their wake. People find them disturbingly intoxicating, unbearably beautiful, and inexplicably dangerous. Now 17 years old, Iris is doing all she can to fit in and graduate high school on time, something her 2 famous, glamorous, globe-trotting older sisters, Gray and Vivi, never managed to do. But when Gray goes missing, leaving behind bizarre clues to her whereabouts, Iris and Vivi are left to find her. But they aren't the only ones looking. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris quickly realizes that the story she's been told about their past is unraveling, and that the world that returned them seemingly unharmed 10 years ago might be calling back to them. So yeah, this is kind of like, I feel like it almost fits the vibe because it kind of might be a little spooky. We're getting into fall, and I don't really have any other technical fall books on my TBR, so I feel like this might make me want to read more fall-ish books, but who knows. So now we'll roll 5 out of 8, 5 out of 9. Okay, I'm pretty sure BookOpely did me dirty last time, so is it just BookOpely's always gonna do me dirty? At least it's 2, which is 1, 2. Oh, you didn't see that. It was 1, 2. Most recent purchase. Okay, so the book I most recently purchased. Okay. And then we got most recent purchase, which my most recent purchase is actually the July Fairy Loot, which was the Darkening by Sunya Mara. And this I don't know much about, so I've honestly forgotten the description. I literally read that about a week, like the description about a week ago, so we'll just read it again. Prince Delco was born for one purpose, to protect his home from the storm, a deadly force that surrounds his city and curses everyone it touches. Vesper Vale is the daughter of failed revolutionaries. Since the queen sentenced her mother to death by the storm, she and her father have been on the run. So when the queen's soldiers, led by Prince Delca, catch up with Vesper's father, she will do whatever it takes to save him from sharing her mother's cursed fate. That's all I'm going to read. There's a little more, but yeah, this sounds interesting. I honestly wouldn't have picked this up this month if it wouldn't have been for most recent purchase. But yeah. So we are now on roll 6 out of 9. Okay. Well, that one didn't roll nice, but okay, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's weird because it's on the cord, my cord. Okay, so we had a minor malfunction where my ring light there decided to fall over, but I did land on buildings. So buildings are on the cover of the book. So for number 6, I was like, building. What books have buildings? And technically, those are buildings on The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. They're very like small, but they're buildings. This is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Me and my friend Morgan over at Morgan's Bookshelves are doing a huge Riordan along where we are reading most of Rick Riordan's work. We're not reading any of his adult books, but this is the 3rd book that we're reading for that. I will leave the announcement video down below talking about the series and all of that. But I'm excited that I got this on my TBR because there will be a live show on my channel for this book sometime towards the beginning of October. Which leads us into roll number 7. Which is 7. We like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is favorite trope. Okay, so anything that's like my favorite tropes, I love a lot of tropes, so that's fairly broad. For favorite trope, I was kind of like, I don't know what my favorite trope is. I like enemies to lovers, I like found family, I also love bully romance, and this book, I've been dying to reread it, so this fits enemies to lovers and bully romance, which I absolutely love. And that is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I've been dying to do a reread of this since I read the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, which some of these, like 2 of these characters are in that, and some of the characters in that series are in this. So I've been like, I'm going to read it in September, and here it is. This essentially we follow Misha and Ryan, and basically, as kids, they started doing pen pals, and little did the teachers know when they were assigning these pen pals that Ryan is actually a girl, based on her name being Ryan. Typically that's a boy's name. And basically Misha and Ryan, they exchanged notes, like letters, over the years, and now they are seniors in high school and they start going to the same school. Misha knows who Ryan is when he meets her, but Ryan has no idea Misha is Misha because he goes under a fake name. And yeah, I absolutely loved this. I'm so excited to do a reread. So yeah. Roll number 8 out of 9, which is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So autumn, so like an autumnal read, or like a book that the cover screams autumn, or just something like that. So for autumn, I kind of was like, I don't know really what to read, but then I saw the cover for A Throne from the Ashes by Chloe C. Penaranda. I know the cover says CC Penaranda, but I know the author has changed her pen name to Chloe C. Penaranda. Like, and this cover just screams autumn because like the red, and I don't know, it just screams autumn. And this is the third book in the An Heir Comes to Rise series. The first book is An Heir Comes to Rise, where essentially we follow Faith, who she discovers that she is a night walker, which basically is somebody that can see and control others people's dreams. But this is something that typically humans shouldn't have. So she ends up training with who she thinks is a palace guard named Nick, I believe is his name, and she ends up kind of training with him to learn her abilities. And it is a really beautiful fantasy series. I loved the first 2 books. I'm kind of mad that I haven't picked this up yet since it came out in February, but I'm finally getting around to it, which is perfect timing because book 4, A Clash of Two Courts, something about courts, comes out in September, so I might be able to read that when it first comes out, or who knows, it might take a couple months to get to it, who knows. And finally, if I counted correctly, roll number 9 out of 9, which is a 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is, I think, features a death, I believe is what the prompt is. And roll number 9, the final roll, thankfully, features a death. And for this, I'm picking Scythe by Neil Schusterman because this is the late night bookworming book club pick for September, and that is a book club that I am a co-host for. I'll leave the Twitter linked down below. But essentially, this is what won our poll for September, and essentially, with Scythe, we are in this kind of utopian world where death has been conquered, and people have to become scythes to basically kill people, to glean, as they call it, people who are supposed to be. I can't remember how they're picked. And we follow Citra and Rowan, who are becoming apprentice scythes to become scythes, and we are just following them becoming scythes, learning about the everything and realizing maybe it's not as good as we seem. And this is a reread for me. I read the the entire series back in 2019, and I'm doing a reread because I have an arc of Gleanings, which is the kind of like novella bind-up for this series that is coming out in November, but I have an arc of the novella bind-up, so I might read all 3 books over like end of September, early October, but I'm not entirely sure. The next readathon I'm taking a part of is Seasonathon Academy, which is hosted by Mel from Completely Melanie, Clint from Reed's Reader, and Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. I will leave all 3 of their announcement videos down below, but I've participated in Seasonathon. Originally, the fall round was Fall Into Reading, but it has been rebranded to Seasonathon Academy, which I'm so excited about because it's also now a month long instead of about a week to 10 days. And basically, Seasonathon Academy, how it works is there are like 5 class types, and you have to read one of the options from each of the 5 classes. I won't go through everything, but I'll go through what classes I picked. And then what books, obviously, and so you just read, you participate in the classes, and just have fun. I've been labeled by Melanie, Kaylani, and Clint as Seasonathon's little sister, so it would honestly be very rude for me not to participate in a Seasonathon. So yeah. So the first prompt is English 1010, read anything you want. I'm going to leave this open for mood reading, as that was the intention of the prompt. Who knows, I might just say, hey, another book from my TBR that isn't on my Seasonathon TBR will work for that. Or I might just say, hey, something entirely off my TBR, I'll read. For Math 1010, add the numbers from your birthday together until you only have a single digit. So mine is February 13th, 2004, so 02/13/2004. When you add all of those up, you get 3. And so this one was kind of difficult. I was like, oh, going through like all of the books that I have on this list so far and being like, they don't end in 3. I literally had to go to the point where I had to go through my Goodreads and like sort by like pages and literally just scroll until there was something that was 3, and then I kind of went through that list. But I settled on Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the second book in the White Hot Kiss series. I don't know if that's actually what the series is called. I should have looked up. I think it's actually The Dark Elements. Thinking of it, I think it's The Dark Elements. The first book is White Hot Kiss, where we follow Layla, who is half demon, and she's being raised by gargoyles, and gargoyles are basically like the world's protectors. They protect the world from demons. Kind of ironic, right? But when Layla starts getting attacked by demons, there is this demon named Roth? Is that his name? I think so. That tries to save her, and we learn more about her and her, like, being a demon and like half demon, but she's half demon, but like she's not a full demon in the eyes of the gargoyles because she's still half human and she hasn't acted upon her demon side and all that. I read the first book in April and I really liked it, and I'm excited to be continuing it because I have so many series started that I should probably try to finish some of them, so continuing a series definitely helps with that. For class number 3 is Fine Arts and Humanities, Historical Understanding, Subcategories, and I picked the History 2850, Colonial Latin America, read a book by a Latin author, and for this I'm picking the Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas, as Aidan Thomas is a Latin author. I've already said I'm not going to describe this book, but I absolutely am excited for it. This is also the Seasonathon Academy group book, so of course I have to read it because it's the group book. I'd literally sell my left kidney to join that live show, as Mel, Kaylani, and Clint are going to be doing a live with the author. I can't remember exactly what date, but it will be in their announcement videos, and I'm excited to watch that. So yeah, I'm sorry for looking down, but literally some of these have long titles and my brain can't process it at all. But Fine Arts and Humanities, Thought, Values, and Beliefs, and I'm choosing classic 3960 mythology. Read any book based on mythology. The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan, as this is Greek mythology. And then Foreign Language 1010, Elementary Foreign Language 1. Read a book set in a different country to your own. I'm Canadian, so anything outside of Canada. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, I'm fairly certain takes place in somewhere in America. From my context clues from this book and the other books that are set in the same world, it takes place in America. There are 2 other books that I didn't get onto my TBR that I need to read this month. I actually need to read them because they are required reads. So one of the required reads is Year of the Reaper by Micaiah Lucier. This was December 2021's Fairy Loot, but this is also the Late Night Bookworming Book Club pick for August. The live show will be in September. I've forgotten the date off the top of my head, but yeah, this essentially, like, we follow a lord who has like disappeared and now he's back, and his like home has been like ravaged by things, and I don't know, and there's like an assassin. I kind of don't know much, but yeah, this is one that I need to read. And then I also need to read The Consumption of Magic by T.J. Klune, which is the 3rd book in the Tales of Verania series, which I need to read this because I am a part of the Klune Along, which is hosted by Clint from Reed's Reader. I'll leave his announcement videos down below, but basically this is we're reading 1 book a month from the Tales of Verania series by T.J. Klune, which the easiest way to describe this, and the way that it was pitched to me and why I read it, is either The Princess Bride on Crack or Shrek Erotica. And I will say that Shrek Erotica title fucking fits. So I'm reading these one a month. This is one of them. I might count this or The Year of the Reaper as like my mood reads, but who knows. I'm not really going to talk more about The Consumption of Magic because I honestly don't know how to describe it because I haven't even read book 2 yet. I will probably have it read by the time this video goes up, if not really shortly after, because the live is like the 4th of September. So yeah, and I'm filming this on the 23rd, so I should definitely start that at some point. Now, the other two readathons I'm taking part in, one of them is Scobydooathon, hosted by Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction. I'm not going to go through all the prompts. There is, I think, 19 prompts. But as the month goes on, I'm kind of going to shove books into prompts. And then if I have any left over, find other books. You can also watch movies. So I might actually push myself to watch some movies because I don't really do that. But I don't know. I kind of was like, I'm already overwhelmed with this because I also start back school September 1st. And I'm taking on a tiny bit more course load than I did last year. Last year I was only doing 2 classes. This I'm doing 3, like 3 in this semester. So I don't know how much time I'll have to read. So honestly, 11 books might be pushing it. But also knowing me, I will put off doing my schoolwork to read, which is something I know I should not do, but shut up. And then I will also be participating in Wayward Seasonathon, which is hosted by Jem from Bookish Gems and Amy from BookTube with Amy. I'll leave both of their announcement videos down below. And this is basically supernatural themed. So there is this bingo board. I'll pop up here. And basically, I think you only need to get a line. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm only going to go through the prompts that I'm going to do, which is the top row. So for Sammy, book inspired by mythology or has an academic setting. The Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas, if my copy comes in time, because this is a week-long readathon that is from the 12th to the 18th. So it literally just depends on how long my book takes to ship, which it could take a couple days. Could take a couple weeks. You never really know with shipping to Canada. But if that does not come in time, I will do Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, because this does, a good chunk of it takes place in a high school, so academic setting, it counts in my head. So then we have Dean, a character who has gone through hell. Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout, as literally one of the characters is a demon who has been to hell. And also in the first book, the characters do kind of go through a bunch of things that you can kind of classify as going through hell, kind of like emotionally speaking. And then a book with a character not from Earth, Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout. One of the characters is a literal demon from hell, and which is kind of funny because Cass is an angel, and I'm saying a character not from Earth, picking something that has a character from hell. I kind of just realized that. I'm now laughing. There are other prompts. If I read other books that week that fit any of the other prompts, well, great. But if I only read those 2 books, that is also great. I kind of just wanted to participate in this because I loved the first like 10 seasons of Supernatural, and then I kind of stopped the series mid season 11 for some reason, and I kind of don't really want to go back and rewatch it, but also I kind of might, who knows. But I figured participate it, especially because it's created by 2 wonderful people here on BookTube. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the books I have to talk about. Knowing me, I'll read a lot more books, but this is just a guide of like, hey, here are books that I have to read. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what books you're reading in September, what readathons you're participating in September, or anything bookish in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it will help my channel grow. I'd love to hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year, and who knows, that might be possible, it might not be. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!